All right, people, I guess I need to go back. I should, every once in a while, mention the ankylosing part of the channel name that I chose. Really is cumbersome, but anyway. So the latest is my rib pain has started up again, and I'm really tired. And the back pain is relentless and horrific no matter what I try and do, no matter how many pain tablets I take. I'm at the stage at where I want to go to hospital, no, to a nursing home, and be cared for and nurtured. But I can't. I have to stay in bed. I mean, I can't even stay in bed. On that note, staying in bed. There's this person who asked if I don't think that my load is what is causing me to have emotional issues which are then triggering my health problems. There would be a lot of autism mothers who have ankylosing spondylitis, who have interstitial lung disease, who have lung scarring, if that were the case, or any other disease. Ankylosing spondylitis came when I was a child. I had 0 children when I was a child, and the thing is, she's not the first person to basically almost blame my lifestyle, which would then mean blaming me for my diseases. By the time I was a teenager, I already had ankylosing spondylitis symptoms. My lungs, really, the mind is strong, the heart is strong in the feelings it has, but I am very sure my emotional state, the burdens I have, the stresses I bear, are not the cause of my decreasing lung function. So if you are one of those people who think like that, don't ask me. Don't bring it up, because no. And secondly, what if it was? She meant the load as in the children. So what would the recommendation be? I asked her that. I told her that, well, I've had ankylosing spondylitis from the beginning of time, and if my load was the problem and is leading to all these issues, then what would you suggest I do? If I said, yes, it's the children, it's the autism, it's the ADHD, yes, then what? Would she say I get rid of some of them? Yeah, there's always going to be 1 or 2 who don't help, whose questions actually don't really help at all. A better question if you want to ask something is, how are you feeling today? On a scale of 1 to 100, how is your pain today? I cannot continue the enroll. You know why? Because I'm having surgery on the 26th of April. It just never ends. It never ends. So the reason I'm having surgery is because of the most common symptom of ovarian or endometrial or uterine cancer in postmenopausal women. Google that. You can Google the most common symptom of ovarian cancer or endometrial cancer or uterine cancer in postmenopausal women. That is what I've been dealing with now for 24 days. And so my doctor, the gynecologist, is not happy, understandably. And we keep having these issues. My menopausal symptoms themselves, we've sorted them out. I'm no longer waking up in the night cold because the sheets I sweated on are now cold and wet. That's gone. I'm no longer just teaching the children and then they suddenly say, Mom, why are you sweating so much? So I knew the Enbrel was working, but I now have this issue, which could be, well, it is a symptom, but I'm pretty sure it's not cancer, because thankfully every time I get tested, it's negative. So I will continue that trend, I hope, right? We will continue that trend. And so I will have surgery to do biopsy, different areas of the uterus, to check. And then I will have radio frequency ablation. He called it radiothermal ablation. So they will burn my uterine wall, heat it up, to hopefully then cause scarring, which will stop the symptom. And of course do a hysteroscopy to also look around and see what is going on. Why is this happening in this postmenopausal woman who hadn't had the issue in a long, it's been a while, it had been a while. It had actually been 5 months, this is the now month 6, I'd actually had 5 months of no symptoms. And then suddenly, this is now day 24 of the most common symptom of ovarian or uterine or endometrial cancer. Back to my lungs. That's another update. My lungs, I think if I were to be tested, if I were to get another lung function test today, it would be different to the one I did in January, and not in a positive way. There are times where people will have a lung function test and the lung function tests show improved results. They even go off the oxygen if they started it. But judging by my symptoms, I think I'm not one of those people. When I bend, like I'm bending maybe to pick things up from the floor, when I'm bending to pick things up, when I'm bending to tidy up the bottom of the wardrobe, I become breathless. Same thing when I'm loading laundry, I become breathless. I remember I might have shared this, my nephrologist, my kidney specialist, when he asked, but why did you go see a pulmonologist in the first place? What alerted you to your lung problem? And I told him it's because I can't sing as well as I used to. I can't hold long notes. That ability has reduced a bit more. So there are fewer notes now that I can hold for as long as I usually would have been in January, or I would have in January. I hope that was grammatically correct. I hope you understood it either way. And when I'm doing squats, the ones against the wall, when I'm doing my yoga ball behind my back, right? I'm standing upright, put the yoga ball, exercise ball behind my back, and I roll down into a squat. I become breathless there as well. That's for my AS, because our AS exercises, ankylosing spondylitis exercises, are to try and slow down the process, the disease process. So we try and slow down the neck fusing in this position by making you look up and try to keep the neck as flexible as possible. That's just one of them. But also the other part is to keep your muscles, make your muscles strong to bear your broken spine and broken bones, to carry you. So yes, the lunges, I become breathless when I'm lunging, and that is also new. It's not nice. It's not nice to feel my lungs deteriorating. I go up a ramp at Canal Walk shopping center. A ramp I always walk up fine. I even push trolleys up and down. My lungs struggle. So my lungs are not doing well. My bones are not doing well. We can't fight it because I need to be 2 weeks off the Enbrel before surgery and 2 weeks off after. And of course, like I said last time, if it's cancer, then that's another story. But it's not cancer, right? I'm just complicated. That's just who I am. I will just pray. And my friends who know me and love God will pray. And God will hear us. Whether he brings healing on earth or he allows me to rest and then have a new body when he comes and resurrects me, it's all good. It's not all good, but I've accepted it. But I'm sad. Obviously, I'm sad. It's not nice being and feeling sick. it's not nice having an invisible illness because no one knows, and therefore no one can treat you with care and concern. No one treats you with sympathy, kindness, that extra bit of empathy that you need. Yeah, it's just one of those things. So no one will understand why I cannot carry a heavy shopping bag because I look healthy. So they'll just fill my shopping bag or think I'm whining or lazy if I do things in a different way. It's just how it is. That's the joy of having an invisible disease. I have accepted it. I don't want to die anytime soon because of my children. They're the only ones who need me alive, and my friend. My friend also said she doesn't want me to die. So I do have to keep living. And so when I watch my lung function go down and feel off, I don't know. Maybe it's still the bronchitis. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in a month's time I will have improved. But I will also say that my phone has warned me also that my heart rate has increased, which matches the lung disease progression. The more your lungs work, the harder your lungs work, the harder your heart also has to work. So it would actually make sense that my heart rate is increasing. All I know is it's harder to do much. It's harder to walk up a hill and talk. It's hard. I can't. Oh, the last thing. I cannot sing and dance at the same time. I will try again later. And I relax by singing and dancing to gospel songs. And I do that when I'm preparing the children's supper and they've gone for a walk. That's my 10 minutes of breathing time and just worshiping God in song, no matter how I feel. I may limp like I'm not. These days I've been limping because the pain has increased in my SI joints. And I'm actually waiting now for an appointment to get the steroid injections. Have you seen how thick those needles are? You should find needles that they use for corticosteroid injections into SI joints. Those things, no wonder it felt so horrible. It felt like someone was drilling into my bone. And that was when I did one side. This time we need to do both. Anyway, that's another story. But I will say, if you're new, it might not work at all. If you've heard about it and it seems to be the thing to get rid of your pain, it might not work at all. If it works, it will work temporarily. For that is for real. No matter how long the temporarily is, it will only work temporarily, then it stops. So, or it will work only a little bit to remove a bit of the pain. So I'm just doing it because I'm desperate. I'm desperate even for a bit of relief. So that is my health update. I've got another cancer scare. I've got an operation happening, which means I have to stop my Enbrel, and I had realized that it had been working. I'm seeing my rheumatologist next week. My lungs seem to be deteriorating. Dancing. So I will then dance as I'm walking to the kitchen, dance and sing. The last time I tried that, which was about 2 weeks ago, I couldn't do both. I couldn't dance and sing. And that was actually devastating. It sounds stupid, but to be able to move and dance was part of my expressing joy and just letting go of all my problems. So to not be able to express myself in movement, it actually is not nice. And I'm hoping and praying that it was just a blip and that things will improve. I can't test it these days because my children either come back way too early or they just don't leave. So I've got less and less time to just breathe. I don't know what positive emotion I can call it when people understand that. When people say, oh my word, you've got the bone pain and now there's this and now you can have another operation. Too often we want to comfort people. And sometimes they don't need comfort. They need logic, they need practicality, they need reality, and for you to sit with them in their reality. So don't tell me, oh well, at least this will be sorted when you do the operation. I shouldn't be having an operation at all. So if you're not a sick person, please, that is my last point to this update, which has rambled all over the place. Please don't ever, on behalf of someone else, say to them, at least you, because it doesn't help. Unless of course they're just whining and just totally, seriously whining over a broken nail extension, that's something else. But if they are seriously dealing with serious and chronic issues, there's no at least. Not when you are healthy, more especially not when you and your family are healthy and neurotypical and less stressed. As one of my adoptive mom friends said, she's a single mom. I always see this post, I'm a single mom, as if whatever they're about to say means their situation is worse than. And that I appreciate. I appreciate that, because it is true. I would rather you tell me your life is horrible, I don't know how you do it, than, oh well, at least you don't. Please don't. And I'm sure, unless your friends are asking you, okay, tell me something positive, please don't come at them with an at least. Please just sit with them in the moment. Imagine yourself about to go and have another surgery. Imagine yourself about to be put to sleep. Imagine yourself knowing that every anesthetic you have increases your risk of dementia. Imagine knowing how that feels, and knowing that you can't avoid it, and knowing that you will have pain, post-op recovery problems, while still battling ankylosing spondylitis and dying lungs and trying to raise a family. There's no at least about it. There's just, wow, what can I do to help? And if you pray for strength, or you can pray for healing. I don't mind. But don't tell me there's a special group that will pray for healing, as if I can't pray. Just pray with me. Let's pray together. That's my update. I'm sorry it was disjointed. I didn't really plan what I would say. I didn't have a list, but I'm hoping that I covered everything, and that I've reached someone who's in my kind of shoes, and that you also could relate to something. I'm not saying let's sit in heartache the whole day, but believe me, I'm one of those who my friend tells me, trust you always find something positive in a terrible situation. So I don't whine all the time, but if I'm giving you a health update, at that moment I can't be positive because it's negative. And other readers, she's a single mom, and she said, God must really think you're strong. And I know I've said this before. God must really think you're strong to trust you with so many challenges. My life is easy compared to yours.